Welcome back to class. Today we're going to talk about the expansion of industry. It's the first unit in industry or first section in the unit of industrialization. As we move through this unit, we'll notice that natural resources and new ideas create a boom for industry and railroads. And we'll see how the government addresses corruption in business and laborers organize for better working conditions. So, at the end of the 19th century, natural resources, growing markets, and creative ideas are going to fuel an industrial boom. And technology developments of the late 19th century are going to pave the way for the continued growth of the American industry. Natural resources are going to begin to fuel industrialization, and we see that machines begin to replace the workers. And by 1920, the US is going to be a leading industrial power in the world. So, the first natural resource we're going to talk about is oil. Before the arrival of Europeans in North America, the Native Americans made their own fuel and medicine from oil. In 1859, Edwin Drake is going to successfully use a steam engine to drill for oil. And the first thing the petroleum refining industry is going to do is make kerosene out of that oil. Eventually, that leads to them making gasoline. The next natural resource we're going to talk about is coal and iron. So there's an abundant amount of coal and iron, and that's going to propel the steel industry. So Henry Bessemer, here shown on the left, he's going to pump air into iron in an attempt to remove the carbon. And when that happens, steel is made. So the process of this is known as the Bessemer process. They're going to take the Bessemer process and eventually use what is called the open hearth process. That's seen here on the right. And so that makes steel from scrap or raw metals by heating those scrap and raw metals up and turning them into a liquid steel. Once the liquid steel is cooled, it becomes steel. So steel is going to be used in the railroad and in farming machines. And steel becomes a huge game changer in the construction industry as well. So with steel, we're able to make the Brooklyn Bridge as seen here, as well as construct multiple steel frame skyscrapers across the US. The next big thing that we're going to talk about is electricity. So in 1876, Thomas Alva Edison establishes his first research laboratory. In 1880, Edison is going to patent the incandescent light bulb seen here. The very next year, in 1881, African American inventor Lewis H. Latimer is going to improve the light bulb by inventing a carbon filament. That's what's inside the light bulb that lights up. And the carbon filament is going to last a lot longer than the filament that was previously used. So later, Latimer is going to team up with Edison and start working for his company. And he's going to improve the light bulb even further by adding a tungsten filament. And the tungsten filament is still in use today. Thomas Edison also creates a system for electrical production and distribution, and electricity is going to completely change businesses. So by 1890, electricity runs numerous machines as well as mass transit and becomes available in homes. Now, once it's available in homes, it's going to encourage the invention of multiple appliances. Christopher Sholes is going to invent the typewriter in 1867. Also in 1867, Alexander Graham Bell and Thomas Watson introduced the telephone. With this invention, office work is going to change. By 1910, women are 40% of all clerical workers. And inventions are going to impact factory work as well and lead to industrialization. Clothes factories begin to hire many women. And the industrialization makes jobs easier and improves the standard of living for everybody. By 1890, the average work week is 10 hours shorter than it had previously been. And the higher standard of living is going to attract many immigrants. Industrialization is going to create a lot of wealth for the business owners, but some laborers think that this new machinery is going to reduce the value of the human worker.